Yes, people, welcome back to Weekly Surgery. The Albert J TV practice is open at the Southeast London red carpet. But people, before we get into it, let's hit the intro. And there you have it, people. A bit of a lively intro to start a Monday night weekly surgery. Episode 7, I believe, because I got the episode wrong last time. I got it right, but I forgot what episode it was. But guys, it feels like it's been a while. A week is a long time, isn't it? Jesus. The grey hairs are coming through, people, but you can't see at the moment because I've got a haircut, so it's all good. But people, as I say, obliterate the like button, and for my audio listeners, this will go out on my IGTV and my Anchor and Spotify. So, people, I like to cater for the audio and for the visual people as well. But I've got a star-studded panel tonight for weekly surgery. For mix it up a little bit. But you see some recognizable faces. But let me introduce my first guest, my bestie from Northwest, Lottie B. How are you? Thank you for joining your first appearance on Weekly Surgery.
Yeah, no, definitely. First appearance Weekly Surgery. I normally end up watching these back, and it's nice to be here for a change and actually on a live. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
We will get into that, Lottie. Don't worry about that. We'll get into that. So there's a bit to talk about. But and of course, my brother from another mother back on the show, G Talks Arsenal. Thank you for gracing us with your presence and welcome to Weekly Surgery.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm good. I had a really nice weekend. I obviously, those who don't know, September last year, I traveled, well, not traveled. I relocated from London, where obviously my home was for my whole life. I relocated to Ramsgate, so I live by the coast. But this weekend I was back in South London, Brixton, in fact, where I grew up.
Yes,
I attended one of my good friends' wedding on the Saturday, so that was really, really nice. And then obviously driving home on the Sunday, watching the game on my phone, and obviously the 3 points, 3-2 win. So yeah, I've had a really good weekend. So I'm very, very good. How are you?
Not bad. We'll definitely touch upon that. I'll let you know how I am. Gee, looking sharp in the suit, man. I saw the pictures, bro. Very impressed, very dapper.
The missus thought so as well.
I believe you, brother. I believe you. But again, another brother from another. He's just. I'm gonna come back to him. He's gonna come back. He did say his Wi-Fi might be a bit. Oh, he's there. Keith, can you hear me?
Nope, frozen.
He's frozen.
Yeah, I think he's in a hotel right now.
Yeah, so he is. He is. He's definitely come before. Yeah, so he might have a few issues. But I'm gonna come to my bro RJ, the Prince of YouTube from Streatham, London. How are you, my bro?
I'm alive and well. I hope you're all doing well. And it's going to be a very interesting one today. So I can't wait to dig in. Can't wait.
Yeah. No, much appreciated. And of course, I've got my man from the northwest of England. But he's, you know what? He's family. End of story. That's what it comes down to. So
That's
Dan, yeah. Dan, thank you for coming onto the show, man. Yeah, welcome to Weekly Surgery, mate.
Yeah, debut, I believe, actually.
Yes.
At the young age of 35. Fantastic. No, thanks for having me on, mate. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of comments my way with this beautiful badge on, but that's what we're here for. That's what we do it for. Bring it on. On.
No, very true. Very true. Let me go to the panel quickly. Thank you for people who are tuning in. We will tuck into the show very, very soon. Hopefully, I'll get Keith back on, hopefully. Lee, big up to you, mate. Met him on Cannon Chatter. Thanks to Lottie and G. So thank you for that. Again, more people to the footballing community. And I've been told it's a community, believe it or not. Yeah, so we're going to get into it, people. So, Weekly Surgery. Oh, Tommy's in there. Go on, Tommy, son. That's it, my lad. So, yeah, let me get the first thing up. So, guys, as you know, it's been a week's a long time in social media. Hence the reason, the title. So let me kick off and have my monologue, and I'll bring you guys in at some point. As many of you might have known, my name was floating around the social media world just over a week, 10 days ago. I'm going to quickly bring Keith back in before I carry on. Keith, can you hear us?
I
Good
can.
man.
Yeah, change devices.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Keith,
it'll
I'm
work.
going to, yeah, no worries. I'm going to continue my monologue. So, yeah, a week in the
Yeah,
life of
no,
social
go in,
media.
mate. Go in.
Yeah, hashtag time to reboot. So, yes, my name was floating around on the platform. I have to thank two people. I'm not going to mention names, but they know who they are, who tried to facilitate and were diligent and were calm and collected to try and gauge some communication between me and TV Guna. That hasn't been reciprocated, but people are entitled to do what they want to do. So I have to make that point first of all. As for things being sort of put out in the public domain, I've been assured that wasn't down to TV Guna, and that was probably down to somebody else, to say the least. But one thing I find quite interesting with the social media side of it, and I've been on Twitter for, I think it'll be 11 years this October. I've been prominent with it for probably the last 2 years since I started YouTube in June 2020. As most of you on the panel will know, and people probably watching this, and when people watch it on the rerun, I'm very open about life outside of YouTube. Losing my mum was a massive blow to myself and the family in the first lockdown in April 6, 2020. Redundancies, getting back into work, back out of work, having to move home twice within a year at the time. So a lot's happened, not just for myself, but for many people. And sort of social media is not my life, and it never has been, never will be. I have a life outside of my YouTube channel. As much as I enjoy doing content and meeting the fantastic people on the panel, there's things that still happen in people's lives that are more important than Twitter beef and tweets and Instagram posts and Facebook posts. And I'm a man of a certain age, and I don't really have the time or the inclination to have to explain myself to people that don't actually know me. There's two sorts of people: the ones that do know you, and the ones that haven't got a first clue about you. What I've seen this week in the last 7 to 10 days is, and what I've learned, because G said to me, it's been a week of learning, and I said, you know what, I totally agree. It just highlights, with social media in particular, the length that people will go to put a stain on your character. And it has shocked me, to be totally honest with you. I'm not naive to think that social media is not a brutal place. As some positives there can be with it, it can be a very, very cynical place. And I've seen certain words being bandied around, as you guys would have seen with Twitter, especially talking about vile, bully. What's the other word I was going to think? What's gone out of my head now? Let's just concentrate on that. And I think to myself, when I think of vile, I think of people like Stephen Paul, Ian Huntley, Peter Sutcliffe, Jimmy Savile. So when you use certain words, know what you're talking about. You understand? We use certain words, there's ramifications for it. And vile is if me having, and many people, we all do, we have private conversations. I respect you enough never to make them private, whether we love people, hate them, adore them, talk about politics, love life, love island, celebrity lifestyle. That is a conversation me and you are entitled to. will never ever sell anybody down the river and make that public. End of story for me. And I think the ironic thing for me is, before I'll get you guys' thoughts, because I don't want to spend too much time, I sort of wanted to get it out of the way and we talk about football, because that's the whole point of my channel. What I've seen in the last week are the same people who are very, very vocal, same people who will tag #BeKind. They're the same people that will do that when Caroline Flack took her life 3 years ago on Valentine's Day. They're the same people that will go and do Twitter Spaces talking about mental health, believe it or not, and then you think it's okay to show yourself in the way that you did in over the last week. So it's disturbing. And like I said, the people that know me, and the people that quite clearly don't. I can tell you now, if I had to go and ask a various amount of people, what's my favorite color? How many brothers and sisters have I got? What's my educational background? What's my footballing background? You know what would happen? They wouldn't be able to tell you the first thing. And you know why? Because they don't know nothing about me. So, you know what? For next time you go and tweet hashtag be kind or hashtag mental health matters, think about what you're saying. So I'm going to come to my panel. I'm going to get your quick thoughts in terms of, let me put it to you guys another way, in terms of what have you sort of learned this in the last 7 to 10 days in terms of how you feel about social media, and most importantly, I'll come to the end bit when I get your guys' opinions, but I'll come to Keith first, mate. What's your sort of thoughts about what I've said and your general thoughts about a week in the life of social media?
I think firstly, can everyone hear me all right, by the way?
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
Hotel internet is not great. So if I freeze and pull a stupid face like, that's why. But we all know that social media can be an absolute cesspool. But I think too much emphasis is put on how bad it is. And the things that I want to concentrate on is looking at the 5 other faces on this screen. They're all people that, you know, you're mates of mine, and I've met other people who I've become really good mates with, and that's a really good thing. But then you see the dark side, which you've fallen foul of this week, Albert, and it's quite awful that people can do such things. It's quite awful that a private conversation can be taken entirely out of context and somebody can use it against another person to try to curry favour for whatever reason. Now, I'm not going to name names. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And it's very, very wrong. And I hate to see it. And it's made me really quite sad this week, to be honest. I don't really know what else to say other than that it's just made me sad.
No, Keith, listen, you don't need to justify or go into in-depth detail. You're right. And before I come to Lottie, I think for me is, like I said with myself, I can only speak for myself. You know, currently my eldest sister's in Nigeria at the moment, trying to sort out things in terms of my mum's property back home in Nigeria. Now, that's more important to me and her safety, because listen, trying to sort things out in Nigeria and in the UK in terms of house property is a completely different ball game. And there's more things that are more important in life. I saw a news report with a young girl in a Romanian refugee camp having to celebrate her birthday, having to flee home from the Ukraine. You know, there are far more things that are important than trying to assassinate somebody's character on a social media site. But Lottie, I'll come to you. Just your general thoughts, if anything at all.
Yeah, no, as you said, there's more important things in life than there is social media. I mean, last month or so, most people will know I've come off because I've been dealing with personal stuff. I've come back to see this.
Yeah.
And it is really disappointing trying to stay in someone's character. And it's really, it hasn't got the traction this person wanted. And I just don't see the point of it anymore. I mean, the way it's carrying on is just ridiculous. And I'll be honest, it's just something some people I'm not interested in. I mean, you guys on the screen, you guys are all amazing. We're really good friends. I mean, yes, as Keith mentioned, there's always the cynical side, including what's happened. But with me, I've got the right people. As long as you've got the right people around you, you're good on social media. And you know that. I mean, you look at me, you and Georgina, Albert. We're really good friends. And that's a plus side of social media. We wouldn't even know each other.
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't know G. I wouldn't know Stephen, Keith, or any of you guys on screen without it. So there is a cynical side, but there's always a ray of sunshine somewhere.
No, well said. Listen, I'm gonna come to. We've got a mental health, someone that works in mental health on the panel in my bro Dan from the Northwest. Dan, what's your sort of overriding thoughts of kind of what you kind of make of social media and what you've seen particularly in the last 7 to 10 days?
Well, it's a tough one, mate, because I put myself out there about 2 weeks ago, because I had, as I said, I had a breakdown myself. Things got too much, and you try and put it in a box in the back, and it just all comes on top. And when you put yourself out there and admit that, whereas I had so much support in the back of the head, you're always worrying who's going to take the swipe.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand, and I mean that. I don't think people understand that when they do make comments like they have, post things that they do, that it is a ripple effect.
Yeah, 100%.
It is a ripple. You don't know how someone's getting on through their day. You don't know if that person has broken down in the morning on the way to work, been late for something because of being breaking down, missed an appointment because they were so broken down, and all these things can total up, and it can send someone over the edge. And this is where people, I think, don't understand that sometimes you chipping away can be the point that makes someone break. And when you make someone break, there's no going back. There's no tit for tat. There's no, I feel like I'm a hero because I've outed what someone said. Who cares? The second you put yourself in that situation where you want to make someone look what they're not, well, then the ramifications come back to you and you only, because you don't know how that person's going to react. That moment of you trying to be the hero, it makes you look the villain 20 million times more than it does the hero. It's as simple as that. So I've learned myself now, think before you tweet. And that's something I think 99.9% of users on Twitter are guilty of. They do not think before they tweet. They say something in a fit of emotion. They say something without really thinking. And we go back to the be kind movement.
Yeah.
If you can't practice what you're preaching, don't preach at all. And it's as simple as that. But the one thing I will say, Albert, is this week, as much as you've got the bad side, which we're talking about, the positive side has been the love.
Yeah, 100%.
This is something that I will say over and over again is love beats hate. It does, no matter what. You can have as much hate as you want, but as long as you've got love there, forget about the rest of it. So, and credit to you, mate. You keep doing what you're doing and don't let people bring you down, because trust me, you're far more better than that. You really are. Yeah,
no, much appreciated. Much love, Dan. RJ, before I come to you, I just want to ask you a question, and I've kind of left it with you really to ask you this. You obviously got a YouTube channel. If I haven't been on your channel since December 29th, 2020, no contact, no communication, you don't know anything about me, I don't know anything about you, I've only been on your channel. If I haven't been on your channel since then, what would you think?
I'd just get on with my life personally. I mean, if you don't want nothing to do with me after that, fine, no problem. That's probably what it is. I'll just get on with my life and you get on with your life. If there's no interaction there, fine, no problem. I just think some people just need to take the hint, So, and to quickly go on the whole social media.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Yeah, go on, bro. Sorry.
It's just it is a horrible place. Let's be honest. We've seen a lot of stuff that's been happening over for quite a while, even with footballers getting abused and just ordinary people getting abused for no reason, and people just like to take things out of context, run around and start a campaign and start putting people under the bus. But it just makes me think, so what are you really like under all that? It tells me a lot about your personality itself. You're out here trying to run a brigade and bury somebody. So as far as I'm concerned, I always think there's a lot of hypocrisy out there, as well as what they're really about you as a person.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just what happened to you, mate, was absolutely disgusting. And yeah, then people know who they are. Shame on them. There's not more things I could say, but
no,
you know what? You know what? Let's just be quiet, man.
much love to all you guys. And what I do want to say before we move on to the football side of the actual weekly surgery. Well, it is weekly surgery, so obviously, this is the open heart surgery.
I'm off. See you again.
Oh, no, stay here. We got
No, you need to stay.
Dad, you must stay. Dad, you're not getting out of this one, but you sit in that bloody chair. But no, you make guys. Listen, you made a good point. Big up to the people in the chat. Thank you once again. Like I always say, man, people's time for me is everything. As you guys know, with my content, I don't tag certain YouTubers. I don't make content about a big YouTuber going to prison or talking about certain bigger channels. Or I'm not in it for the views and the subs. You have to have a certain type of mentality. Listen, I heard people talk about trying to protect the brand. What brand are you talking about? I'm not sponsored by Reebok or Nike or Continental. I haven't got a podcast with Jake Humphries from BT Sport. I'm not working with Tom White on Sky Sports. What brand am I protecting? I have a YouTube channel with 800 plus subscribers. What brand am I protecting? Make it make sense, because I don't understand it. But let me finish up. I want to say a massive, massive thank you to these guys on the panel. Firstly, the private messages, the phone calls, checking up on me, and the load of other people that have been in touch and words of wisdom and keep your head up and keep doing what you're doing has been mind-blowing. It honestly has. And you know what? To finish up, there were many private conversations that I will absolutely keep private, because that's how it should be. G, come on, mate.
Yeah, so just before we move on, obviously, to the football, I just wanted to kind of say a couple of things. Because you know what?
Yeah, I forgot you, G. Sorry, go on. Go on.
This thing kind of really hit home for me, because I've experienced something like this with kind of friends and family. Not always necessarily about myself, but it has been. I've been connected to people that choose to go to social media in order to kind of resolve or kind of air issues, etc. But I think first and foremost, I think it's really important that throughout life we live our life within certain boundaries and towards a certain moral or ethical code.
Yeah.
Now we can't always do that, and the reason why we can't always do that is because no one's perfect, but we try our best kind of every day to be a better version of ourselves. So that's kind of like the first thing. The second thing is, anything, as you said, anything that is said in a private forum should be in a private forum, and that's the reason why it is said or done in privacy. So it should never come out of that and be made public, regardless of the circumstances before, during, or after. And I think the third thing, which for me, why it hit home, kind of. It wasn't about me. I wasn't involved, but why it kind of hit a nerve with me is because I have actually quite strong views on what I call trial by Twitter.
Yeah, well said.
And the reason why I feel that way is because for me it's all about intentions. Now, I may upset people when I say what I say, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Speak freely.
Now, we all know Kurt Zuma kicked a cat, right? We know that. Now, if the person who exposed Kurt Zuma had any thought or love towards animals, they would have seen that video and taken that information straight to an animal organization and made that report. But they didn't. What they did was they got monetary gain from obviously releasing that video. So for me, the intention is not genuine, because the intention is not to protect the cat. The intention is not about the welfare of the cat. The intention is to obviously, expose Kurt Zuma for his actions. And from what I heard, there was a monetary gain in terms of giving that video, releasing that video to whoever they did. I'll even go as far as to say with the Mason Greenwood situation and his girlfriend. Now, when I saw that, obviously I was disgusted by it. Equally with the Kurt Zuma situation. At the same time, I go back to the same thing. It's about intention. For me, now, it's not so much because what I've heard and what I've seen and what I've even had confirmed is that, you know, Mason Greenwood's girlfriend wasn't the one that actually posted that Instagram post. Somebody actually posted it against her will on her behalf. Now, some people might look at that and say, you know what, that's good, that's admirable. You know, for me, I'm a father. I have 2 daughters. Now, God forbid, but if my daughters ever found themselves in a situation like that, the last thing I'd want is for anybody to post that on social media. And again, it goes back to intention. If you have any intention or care or love for my child, you would tell me, or you would tell the authorities. But the action in posting that was blatant. It was, you wanted to expose, you know, Mason Greenwood. You wanted to, you know, potentially break the relationship. So for me, it's all about intention. That's what it's about. So the whole trial by Twitter thing or trial by social media, I'm literally not a fan. I don't care what the circumstances are. I don't care the magnitude of the situation, whether it be small or big. I just don't think that social media should be used as a platform where we basically expose things. Now, we live in a civilized society where we have authorities and organizations whose job it is to deal with situations. It's a private issue. It's not my business. It's none of our business on the panel. It's the business of that cat, Zuma, and the authorities to deal with him. It's the business of Mason Greenwood's girlfriend, Mason Greenwood, the families, and authorities to deal with that. Now, it's going to happen because we live in a society where people feel the need to, you know, be vigilante or whatever it is. But for me, it doesn't sit within my moral and ethical code. It just doesn't. If I am given information that I feel strongly enough about, I will share it, but I will share it accordingly. And my intentions will be genuine and come from a positive place. And if that's not what it is, then I just won't share it. It's that simple. So I think, you know, it has been a week where we've all kind of seen and heard things that we wouldn't like. But I think the other side to it is I don't think many of us were massively surprised because we generally see it. We generally see it every day. And like I said, I've seen it when it's been involved with people that I know, either friends or family. It just hurts and is more shocking when it's about somebody that you obviously care about. So yeah, I'm sorry that you've had to go through the last week you have. But as you can see from the panel and from the comments, that, you know, there are a lot more people that love you than dislike you, bro.
No, much appreciated, man. Like I said, a massive thank you to the support and the phone calls and the messages, because they saw what the last week was really, really about. And yeah, it's what can I say? But you know what? Like I said, when them private messages and conversations that I got, I'll keep them private because that's how they got delivered to me in the first place. So we'll move on for that. For much love to you guys. But yes, people, we're gonna talk football. We're gonna talk footy.
Oh,
Dan, stay where you are, mate. Yeah.
Do we have to?
Let's go.
Can we go back
Lion's
to
den now,
for
mate.
a second, please? Just go back.
Oh, so guys, yeah. So obviously I've got Dan, my guy, who's Man United fan. But Dan, I'll sort of obviously I'll talk to you about the game, but I wanna come to you first, Dan.
No, you don't have to. It's fine. Go on. Go to.
No, because I want to sort of
there's a fantastic panel that you're not utilising.
Yeah, no, but I'll get their thoughts as well. No, Dan, I was sort of to ask you more about the. You can touch on the game, but I sort of ask you more about the debate between Mike and Richards and Gary Neville in regards to how they see Ralph Rangnick at his role at Manchester United. Sort of, what did you make of it? Obviously, as a Man United fan, was you on the side? Was you kind of thought more about? Did you agree with what Michael Richards was saying, or did you see where Gary Neville was coming from?
I'll be honest. I saw nothing but naivety from Richards. I mean, he was fuming, and I couldn't understand why. I said to you when we appointed Rangnick, I said, I'm not interested in what he does the next 5 months. It's the job he does after it.
Yeah.
Now I stick by what I said with that. Ralph was never brought in to manage this club, and anyone that thinks he was, is beyond stupid, because there's only one way he was ever going to be manager of that club, and that was if he went on a run and took us on a 10, 15 game unbeaten run. It's never going to happen. We've got the squad that to prove that. What he's done and what Neville said it so right, and he said a lot of things that us United fans kind of had a feeling it was anyway, is that I liken it to when a new boss takes over at work. When that new boss comes in, they don't always come in and smash the hammer down and say, I want this, this, and this. They come and they observe.
Yeah.
They come and they observe, and they make their own mind up about what they're going to do moving forward, whether it be, put me head of the company, whatever. But that's what they do. Now, what Ralph's done is he's come in. Okay, he's tried tactics that don't really suit the Premier League. But what he has done is he's been building a dossier for the end of the season to see where exactly Manchester United need to go. Now, that doesn't just go with the players on the pitch. That does go with the lads that are on the bench there, the coaching staff, the scouting, everything. Absolutely everything. Now, my only gripe has been that we don't know which direction they're going yet. We're Manchester United, with the greatest of respect. We're not a lower tier team here. We're a team that demands perfection. We've got the trophies, the history, everything to back that. For me, I want to see a clear path. I don't want to see, let's see if Pochettino does get to the final of Champions League. Let's see if he does win it. Then we'll have to go for I want to see a direction. But make no mistake about it, I can guarantee you this now. Rangnick's already made his mind up as to who is staying at this club and who he can work with, who he can nurture, who he can promote to the new manager coming in. And judging by the way it is at the moment, that's 30% of the squad that we've got. And I say that and I mean that. I say that and I mean that, because I tell you what happened yesterday. I didn't get angry watching it. I really didn't. And I went through the 5-0 at home to Liverpool, so that was as angry as I was ever going to get. But the thing that irritated me the most was too often in so many games for Manchester United this season, and in fact, no, I won't say this season, I'll say the last 3 or 4 years, players go missing on the bigger occasions. Now, I've said this on other pods, and I'll say it again now. With respect to Harry Maguire, I know he is getting absolute pelters now. I know that. I get that. And I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But this is where good managers are different to great managers, to upper tier managers. When you have a player who is out of form, who is struggling, you take them out of the team. It doesn't matter for as long 3 games, 4 games. It doesn't matter. You take them out of the team and you put them back in. You bring them back in slowly. The great managers did it. Wenger did it. Ferguson did it. People before that, the Shankleys, people like that did that.
That's way back. Yeah.
You manage a player. That's how you manage a team. Maguire had to play game after game after game after game after game. I look at a player now who 2 years ago I was thinking decent. Obviously he's not top tier. Of course he's not. And he was never worth £80 million. It was English tax, simple as that. But there was a player there that could bring the ball out from the back, could spray a pass, could win every ball in the box, and was such a threat in the opposition area.
Yeah.
This is the situation United are in now. We are overplaying players who shouldn't be in the team. Rashford, I don't even know what Rashford is anymore. Is he a winger? Is he a striker?
He's the biggest mystery for me of all United players.
But this is where it boils down to. They're not being used correctly. The coaching staff, Darren Fletcher, I mean, has he got the best ticket in the stadium? Because what's his job? I'll ask you guys, what's his job?
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused what he's doing there.
There's too many issues in this team that will not be fixed in 12 months, in 18 months. This is something that is going to take time, because as we saw last season with Chelsea, you can't go out and buy 8 players and expect them to just hit the ground running. They brought Tuchel in at the right time, and they did what a lot of teams do in the Champions League. You can have a terrible season, but on the night when you're playing a team, it's just 90 minutes. So you can go for it. You can give it your all. And you can sometimes go on. There's been terrible teams that have won the Champions League. Liverpool, 2005, great result, but weren't really a team that you'd look and go, my God, world beaters. Same with Chelsea last season. They were out of sorts. There are players there that didn't really click. And that's the issue with Man United. And as many people who think that someone's going to come in the summer and bring in Declan Rice, Harry Kane, they're idiots, because it's not going to happen that soon.
Mm.
And I will finish on this because I don't want to take too much of your show.
No, that's right. That's right.
The reason Manchester United in the past have been able to win Champions Leagues, doubles, trebles, countless Premier Leagues, 3 in a row, is because for every superstar there, you have 2 or 3 players around them that are solid 7 out of 10s every game. They don't have to be special. They don't have to have the name that sells the brand, that makes the money. They're players that go in every game and they just have a 7 out of 10 consistent season every season. And that is how you win trophies. That is how you make a team and mold a team. And that, until we do that, instead of signing players for the name on the back rather than the shirt on the front there, it's going to go worse. So they need someone who's going to come in with structure, who knows that this is what they need. And until they do that, it's just going to get from bad to worse. Because I tell you something, I've never seen it this bad. I've never seen it this bad in my whole time watching them. And I take that even from the Moyes era.
Wow.
I've never seen us this bad. No direction, no clue, no big players in that team that bring people through, that people can rely on, that when you're in the trenches and you think, we are absolutely fudged here, but you look left and you look right and you have big characters that say, no, come on, we'll bring it through. Don't have them. So therefore, when you don't have them, you are left to be thrown to the wolves. And that is exactly what we're seeing now. People can give as much effort as they want. If they don't have the tactical knowledge and they don't have the ability to be the upper tier, well, then there's just no point in them being there. It's as simple as that. Simple as that.
Yeah, damn, well said, man. Well said. For you to say that's the worst you've seen it, that's quite damning. Particularly for the money that I think United, I heard was it 1.2 billion they spent?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's insane. And to see where they still are. But Dan, much love, man. RJ and Keith, I'm going to point this sort of statement to you. It's related to Arsenal in the top 4, but hopefully you've heard it today. I'm not sure. Our friend Adrian Durham from TalkSport. I saw this about an hour ago, actually. He was saying that Tottenham have had 4 managers in a year, and how United have had an interim, the manager that wasn't good enough and whatever, and Rangnick's come in. And he said that if West Ham had bought 2 players in January, they'd be above Arsenal. That's what he was saying. So what's your thoughts on what Mr. Durham said? And generally, what do you make of yesterday's game against Watford? I'm going to start with Keith first, actually. Oh, you.
Every time.
Go on, Keith.
It depends what players West Ham bought, really. If they bought Haaland and Messi, then yeah, perhaps. But look, West Ham, since Moyes has been there, I think they've done really, really well.
Very well, very well.
But it's just such a TalkSport thing to say, isn't it?
And it's him, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of that, Albert. I don't know what RJ thinks of it, but I don't want anything to do with TalkSport in any way, shape, or form. It just.
We'll come on to yesterday. Right, talk about what did you make of Arsenal? What did you make of the performance yesterday? I thought personally, Keith, from an attacking point of view, I've not seen us look that slick for quite a while, to be honest with you. What did you make of it?
I think you made a really good point there. I did mention at one point it was almost like watching us counter-attacking in 2003, 2004 with, Thierry, Dennis, Freddie and Bobby. The counter-attacking was absolutely it was awesome. But then defensively, I've at the moment got concerns about Aaron Ramsdale and Gabriel. I'm not saying sack them off in any stretch of imagination.
Yeah.
But they both look devoid of a little bit of confidence, and they both need a bit of a win at the moment. So that's concerning me. But we're missing Tommy as well. So I think defensively we are not looking anywhere near as solid as we did earlier. But attacking wise, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Mm. Now, Keith, you make a good point about defense, and it's not just yesterday's game. There's been I'm not saying that the defense is going to be, you know, the Milan defense of the mid '90s, you know, but I just there's been times in certain games I've seen, and I mean, some of Ramsdale's clearances just are oh my god, this guy, what's he doing? To be fair, he pulled off a brilliant save in the first half. He did, and he pulled off a save in the second half after he made the mistake from the clearance out. But RJ, your thoughts on obviously missed what Darren said. Maybe don't want to talk about too much, but also obviously your thoughts about the game yesterday from your point of view.
Well, let's talk about Adrian Durham because this is not going to take too long. I promise. Honestly, that guy is a waste of time. We all know he doesn't like Arsenal for whatever reason it is. He always has our name in his mouth. Oh, West Ham this. And don't get me wrong, I actually like West Ham. You know, they're actually done very well. You know, I echo what Keith said. You know, if they'd assigned the Haalands, the Messis, yeah, cool. But people forget they needed a clear out on top of actually more signings on top for a while. I've got a mate that's a West Ham fan, and he's been telling me since not even last season before, they need more up top. So, and then around the pitch, so it's irrelevant what he's talking about. They got Europe as well, which naturally you need a bigger squad, so which they don't have, and they're gonna fatigue out. So, him saying that, whatever.
Yeah, he did mention that. He's saying about obviously, but that's not our fault that we're not in Europe.
No, it's not our fault. But he's waffling about.
But yesterday's game, go on.
Yesterday's game, I saw two sides of Arsenal. The Arsenal that we tried to get away from in terms of like hairy, shaky moments. The way we started was just jittery as hell. And I was oh great. Yeah. The one time I felt like, you know, because we've been pretty good at taking advantage of it lately, which is a bit weird. But touch wood, you know, it keeps happening. But 16 seconds and we're a goal down. Luckily, it was disallowed. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is going to be a long one. But defensively, shaky, shocking. Gabriel, I echo what Keith said. Gabriel, the last few weeks has been a little bit nervy, which I've always kind of said, and this might be wild. People might think, you know, I'm going to say David Luiz here, but when he was with him, he wasn't as rash. It's nothing to do with Ben White at all. But I just feel like he needs someone that's like that can calm him down with at times because he hasn't really been.
I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. Do
you know what I mean? So that's that. Ramsdale, look, he's done well, but we know he has erraticness in his game. We've seen it, you know, when he was at Sheffield United and Bournemouth. But he needs to calm the hell down. Okay, that's one thing I will say. I love him to bits. He's turned a tune over a lot of Arsenal fans, but he needs to calm down. All right, but I appreciate him. But the football up front, I mean, really both are fantastic. Good God, I thought we could have got more.
Yeah,
but
100%.
It just wasn't meant to be. But yeah, Saka, Ødegaard, oh man, and I think especially my last point on this, I think Ødegaard has changed a lot of tune because I remember a lot of people weren't happy. We're going after him. Here, Maddison. Oh, let's get Maddison.
Well said.
Forgetting about Maddison has inconsistency sometimes as well.
Very.
And he goes missing. And then, Ødegaard goes missing in games. Well, he's not getting missing now, is he? No. Case in point.
Well said. I'm gonna come to G and Lottie. I know Lottie's seen this. Hopefully, G, you've seen it. Our fellow gooner Laura Woods. I mean, I love her for the work she does, and I just love her, to be honest, full stop, personally. But that's just my personal opinion. But no, I saw a debate with Jamie O'Hara on TalkSport. Hopefully, you've seen it as well, G. Hopefully, you saw it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm gonna get you two guys' thoughts on that, and obviously Arsenal's performance, more so from the top end of the pitch. But I'm gonna come to Lottie first.
Oh, she had him for mincemeat, didn't she, this morning? It's absolutely priceless when she does that. So
I think she did. Yeah,
that's our girl. It's nice to have someone in that place that deserves to be in the bin that is actually on our side. I mean, we don't get it very often, and I'm with Keith. I don't listen to it very often. I mean, I got this clip off someone else on Twitter, and I was like, "Go on, Woodsy, put him in his place."
Yeah,
but no, she was brilliant the way she did it. In terms of the game, yeah, it's just, as RJ said, it was shaky at the start. I mean, I was already stressed out from the game before because the girls went 3-2. And then,
the
then
women
they did
man,
it to me. It was just stress as an Arsenal fan for yesterday. But 6 points in the bag. Let's not talk about the women. I'm doing that tomorrow. But yeah, no, it was a bit. It was a bit squeaky bum time when it went 3-2. But
boo-hoo! You won 3-2. I had to watch a bit absolutely novel 4-1 yesterday.
You got too many egos and you need a culture change. Don't start on me.
I'm sorry, I had to witness your team winning. Oh my god!
Do you know what? Yesterday was glorious. Do you know why? Because you lost. Anyway,
the gloves are off.
That is all right.
Does anybody want a new fridge? I heard United are selling one. It's not guaranteed to work though. I promise you. Anyone, please just give United a call.
I'm sorry. It's off.
I was going to play nice. I'm sorry, guys. I was going to play nice. Going back to it, it was. I was impressed with the ball. I mean, looking back at it, you could say it was Wenger ball. Something I haven't seen in a very long time from up front.
The commentator did say that actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't Smudger didn't say it, but I can't remember the name of the commentator. Did actually say it when we got the Martinelli goal. Actually, I think it was. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the Martinelli goal.
Yeah.
If I found myself actually agreeing with the pundit for a change, which is very unusual for Sky.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm just happy. I'm happy we got the 3 points. General thoughts on top 4. We're doing really well at the moment. I'm not counting my chickens yet.
Some big matches, We've got some big football matches.
Very big. I mean, people are talking, 7 from 13. Do you know what? Concentrate on every single game, one at a time. Every game is a cup final to the end of the season.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
All this talk of, let's get Rashford in. No, he can stay at United. I don't want him. He's done.
Yeah, I did see.
I'll drive him up to you myself.
You can keep him, mate. But no, it's just all
God.
this chat. We can get this person. At the moment, we are. I think it was Glenn Murray that said it. We are playing for the future. We're not playing for now. We are playing for the future. We are building a team. And again, I'm agreeing with a Sky pundit here. I don't know if you guys have seen the Glenn Murray clip, but he's come out and said we are building for the future. Yes, we'll fly for now. I'm quite happy with that, but we're not ready to be on that compete on that level of the Champions League. We're not. I'm happy I'm happy if we get it. If we go into Europa and we go on to win that, happy bunny. Don't care. But we are building for the future, and that is the main point of what the boss is doing.
No, well said, Van Tots, man. G, my man, hit us with it, man. What you thought?
Listen. You see, Laura, she's one of the only ones on that platform that talks some sense. You know what? She completely dismantled everything the man said previously, because he obviously, as we always do, all of us, we give an opinion, and then obviously there are times when that opinion is proven right, and sometimes when that opinion is proven wrong. And I give the classic case of what RJ said about Odegaard. I was one of those guys. I didn't really rate him. I didn't really want him to come to the club. At the same time, I will hold my hands up and say, listen, the guy is phenomenal, and I was wrong. And that's what Jamie O'Hara should have done. He should have just sat on TalkSport and just said, you know what, mate? I was wrong. I predicted the team that was going to finish 6th or 7th. Now they're sitting in 4th spot. They're playing really well. I'm not going to use the excuse of manager and how much you spend, etc., etc. But what he tried to do was he just tried to explain himself, and he just kept digging a bigger and bigger and bigger hole, because she just completely dismantled what he said.
Gee, when does that man ever speak sense?
I don't know. Like, she just literally, she ripped him apart, and it was fantastic to watch, because a lot of the time I watch clips from TalkSport.
Yeah, you do get the clips.
It can be quite frustrating, and it can be quite an awkward watch, because a lot of the time they say things just for the clickbait.
Yeah.
But what she was saying was absolutely spot on. And I think the key thing, where she dismantled his argument, was about, well, you predicted they'd finish 6th or 7th.
Exactly.
They're currently 4th, so that's technically overachieving, right? And he just wouldn't accept that what he said was inaccurate, or what he said at the time is not as obviously come to fruition, or is coming to fruition at the moment. So yeah, big up Laura. She's phenomenal in terms of like what she talks with logic and rationale when she's on TalkSport, and that's what we want to hear. In terms of the performance, I think we're being a bit harsh on the lads in defence. You know what? I think I definitely take on board, you know, the points about Gabriel and Ramsdale. They never had good games. Gabriel has looked a little bit shaky, and you know what? I definitely concur with RJ when he talks about David Luiz. And it's not so much that David Luiz was or is an exceptional player, but what he did bring to the side was some level of experience. Definitely a good communicator. He was one of the players that you constantly heard communicating and shouting, you know, with the rest of the lads. So, but that's where I also think where we kind of have to be mindful and say, like, we are being a little bit harsh because they are all quite young. You know, they are all quite experienced. And I think that's just where, in terms of the summer, that's what we need to address. What we know right now is we have an exceptionally gifted young group of players that are playing with amazing confidence, but we need to add some experience, some skill into that side. You know, so as much as as much as I've loved the players they've brought in, and I love the way we're playing, I do think we need to now this summer find, you know, strike that balance in terms of experience. Just touching upon what Lottie said with regards to Champions League, I completely agree with her. I don't think we're ready for the Champions League. However, the only reason why I want us to finish in the top 4 is because that then opens us up to a bigger and better market in terms of players. And I think that will definitely benefit us. But yeah, by no means are we ready for the Champions League at this stage. But, you know, you've got to be in it in order to kind of reap the benefits, you know, in terms of the bigger picture. In terms of the top 4 race, you know what? At the beginning of the season, I didn't envision it. I was happy. I was happy if we finished 5th or 6th. Right now, it's looking very sweet. I'm enjoying it. At the same time, you know, as I said to you before we went live, I've seen Leicester City win the league. I've seen Manchester United. I've seen not Manchester United. I've seen Newcastle United literally throw away a Premier League that looked as though their name was already written on it. So for me, with 13 games to go, yes, the boys are playing with bags and bags of enthusiasm, effort, and confidence. At the same time, in a very young team, confidence can get shattered very quickly. And results can, in this league, the level it is, can go against you very quickly. You know, we could end up getting battered against Liverpool and then go on a 4 or 5 game.
I'll be there for that. I'll be there for that game.
Running loss.
Big game.
So while I'm confident, I'm strongly keeping my feet on the ground until the end of the season, and hopefully we can make top 4. But yeah, based on the guys yesterday, in terms of going forward, they were absolutely phenomenal.
Brilliant. Very clinical. Very clinical.
It was the first, you know what, I'll go as far as to say, I think, you know what Keith said, it was the first time in years that I just enjoyed. I didn't even care that we conceded 2 goals. The football was sweet. When I tell you the football was sweet.
Those days.
One touch, pass, move, speed. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. It was a joy to watch.
Yeah,
and you know what? One name that hasn't come up that I have to big up because I've been very critical of him is my man Lacazette. He was instrumental.
Lee put that in the comments.
Absolutely instrumental. He didn't get on the score sheet, but his link-up play, his first touch, his layoffs, he got 2 assists. He was absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, it was a beautiful game of football.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously, we need him to be scoring goals. He probably scored against Liverpool, not surprise me. And United, but he contributed in other ways. So Lee, fair point, and G backed it up. To be fair, Keith, before we go on to the last question to all you guys, Keith, I want to come to you. What makes me laugh, right? I've only really seen it today, to be honest. A lot of the ex-pundits are changing their tune now. So it's like now, if Arsenal get top 4,
the goalposts have moved.
Arsenal's a big club. They should be getting. They spent 150 million. They make me sick.
Goalposts have moved.
And also as well, Keith, to add to that as well. So it's kind of 2 questions in one. I saw the ref watch with Dermot Gallagher, right?
Oh my god.
I'm not being funny, and I know Arsenal fans have their views about officiating and how we're portrayed in the media. I'm sorry. If that was any other manager that threw that ball back to one of their players, I don't think that would even have been talked about. That would not have been talked about. But because it's Arteta, because it was Arsenal. Sorry, it was a talking point.
Yep.
Yeah, what's your thoughts, mate? Go on. 2 questions in one.
I've been saying this all season about pundits, especially since the Brentford game when Jamie Carragher was commentating and he openly laughed when they scored their second goal. And I was like, you're supposed to be
A pundit. Yeah.
unbiased. You're a commentator. Don't be worrying about when Thierry sent you to the co-op for a bag of crisps all those years ago when you fell into Sammy Hooker and you're hanging on to it. The same as Danny Mills with the corner flag. There are very few pundits or commentators that I've got any time for.
Yeah.
I quite like Ali McCoist.
Yeah, I love Ali.
To
Love
a
Ali.
point.
Ali, man.
And I'm even at the point now where I like Roy Keane as a pundit because he entertains me massively.
He does make me laugh.
And I used to absolutely hate Gary Neville as a player. Hated him more than anyone else. Sorry, Dan, but I did. But now I see why he was the way he was. He was just his club through and through, the same as we are. He was a fan. And he occasionally has moments where he talks some sense. But I really don't have any time for any pundits other than probably Ali McCoist. That's it in a nutshell. There always seems to be not an anti-Arsenal agenda. I don't want to get my tinfoil hat on and start going down that road. But there doesn't seem to be anyone who is entirely unbiased. Even listening to Smudger, there are times I've listened to him commentate and it's like, did you even play for Arsenal? Martin Keown as well.
Keown cops a lot of flack from Arsenal fans. He does.
Yeah, and it's almost like they go the other way, almost trying to be anti-Arsenal because they used to play for them. They don't want to be perceived as biased. It could be that. I don't know. And as for Jamie O'Hara, Jermaine Jennings, the rest of them, do not get me started.
Don't ever get me started on Genus.
Oh my God.
I'd rather watch paint dry than have him on my screen.
And they had the one show on, and he's on there, and it's just like, no, I just can't.
He's one of the worst.
Yeah, Jermaine Genus, right? Yeah, that season they got to the final Champions League. He was unbearable on BT Sport. Honestly, I feel like I was gonna get the sick bucket. But
he was awful over the Euros as well.
He was awful. Not even the word.
We're just
I'm trying to be nice, Stan.
We're just rinsing the pros, man.
My wife doesn't even know who he is, but after the Euros, she knew exactly who he was because I'd just be there going, "What are you even talking about, Jermaine?" Like I know him, first name friends. Why are you even talking? How are you earning a wage? Honest to Christ, he's
Dad, I'm going to come to you. Dad, I'm going to come to you because obviously I'd like to get your opinion because obviously you're not connected with Arsenal. But talk to me about I'll talk to you about Bukayo Saka. For me, if he does not get Young Player of the Year, there must be some brand envelopes going around the FA or the PFA. Because what do you make of Bukayo Saka, mate? He's
a player that was raw talent, but now this season seems to be maturing at such a rapid pace. And I worry sometimes that you overplay him, but then I look at him and I think, do you know what? He seems to be like a sponge. He seems to be taking on every bit of advice from coaches, from players. He just wants to learn, and you can see that, and it comes across that way. When I listen to him being interviewed, he comes across so well. I think he's got to be up there for Young Player of the Year, but also Smith Rowe's got to be in with it. I think he is incredible. I'll tell you something. He's the first footballer, I'll be completely honest, for a long time, other than United players, that I go and watch straight away after I've watched United's games because I really enjoy watching him play. There's no fear with him. There's no fear, and when you're a young player that age and you don't have fear, and you go into every game as if it's just a kick around with your mates. Last person I saw do that was a certain Wayne Rooney.
Wow.
Just not scared. Just willing to pick the ball up and run and attack and hassle people. And I think this kid, honestly, I don't mind saying this. This kid, there's no level with this kid at the moment. This season has been such a joy to watch him breaking into the England squad.
Yeah.
looks like he's enjoying. And him and Saka, the thing that my friend, he's an Arsenal fan and he loves watching him, and I watch him a bit with him if I'm not watching United. Nothing phases him, and I think, as I said, if you've got two young players and nothing phases them, the sky's the limit. So I really, as much as you say about Saka winning Young Player of the Year, I still look at Smith Rowe. I mean, I think up until recently, I think he may still, isn't he still your top scorer
in the league? Yeah, and Dan knows that stat. Dan knows that stat that came out yesterday. That I think Emil Smith Rowe's in the list as well. Saka's got the goals and assists,
13,
the most
and
in the
then
league.
Smith Rowe's got 11.
21 and under. Yeah, and they're both on there. I think Martinelli's on there as well.
Yeah, Martinelli's on there as well, but a bit further down.
But that's another one, though. Martinelli, you look at that. I mean, Martinelli, once he fills out, once a couple of years, he's going to be a beast. I watched him absolutely tear City apart in the game that I don't want to bring.
Don't bring that up again. No, me and Lottie were fuming.
It was 2-1. It wasn't 4-1. Get over yourself. But I watched him in that game tear City to pieces, and I just think you're talking about these young players. The character they've shown this season already, losing the 3 games at the start of the season, everyone looked and went, that's it. Arsenal are done. You've lost those 3 games and you've lost against City. They are 4 of your 7 losses for the season. I think you're having a remarkable season. And I think the signings that he's bringing in are incredible. And actually, the biggest thing for me is a manager. You look at managers, right, and they have that moment. They have that moment where they turn around and where you turn around and you go, that's my manager. And he made the decision to send Aubameyang, not for a fee. He sent him, he just got rid. I don't want him. Yeah, okay, he scored for Barcelona. Barcelona are playing in a league that, to be honest, I don't really rate anyway. But what I'm saying is, he made that decision. And I think if he'd have made that decision, you went on a losing run, there's murmurs. For him to back himself, as a manager, you've got to be able to back yourself and make the decisions and stand by those decisions. I think you're reaping it. I really do think you're reaping the benefits of that at the moment. And I think it'll show come the end of the season. I honestly can't see past you for 4th. I can't. I'm not just saying that because, Albert, you're a very good friend of mine. I look at the fixtures you've got. People are saying the Liverpool game's huge, but people need to remember Liverpool are attacking on 4 fronts at the moment.
Yeah.
This is where you're going to see if Liverpool are the real deal. If they can go on and win the quadruple, if they can go on and absolutely smash it, the squads that they've got, they're going to have to utilize it the correct way. Now, I'm not saying they'll rest players against Arsenal, but what I'm saying is this is where managers like Klopp earn their money. This is where you look at managers like Klopp and go, yeah, he's a good manager. This is where it takes him to being a great manager. So you're in a pretty good situation here. Form is on your side, as you said. One loss in how many was it? Sorry,
1 loss in 10. I think.
This is the time of the season you need those stats.
Yeah,
this is the time to see. This is the business end of the season. So I think the team you've got, the spine going up that team is incredible. Partey's starting to look decent now. He's a beast. He's a rock. It's this summer. This summer's going to be huge for you. If you do make the Champions League, which I do think you will, I don't think you have to worry about attracting the players anymore. Champions League is a big earner. People want to play in the Champions League. I'll be very interested to see who he looks at in the summer. But in my eyes, I honestly think Arteta's already knows who he's looking for in the summer. I really do. I really do. So it's one of them. I think you've got 3 young players there already that are going to absolutely tear the Premier League to pieces. But dare I say, and I hate saying it, but it's a really good time to be an Arsenal fan. It really is. Completely.
At the moment. No, it just big up to people in the chat. Sentiment FC. I don't know. Is Saka not a good choice then? If it's one of the choices for PF Player of the Year, but good shout to be fair about Conor Gallagher because he's been excellent for Crystal Palace. He's been superb.
Do you not worry about Conor Gallagher though, that he'll go back to Chelsea and just fall into the abyss?
I hope he doesn't. I honestly hope he doesn't go back. I honestly hope he doesn't.
He's got to leave.
He's got to leave. 100%. 100%. But yeah, Sentiment FC. I love you, man. Love your quick. Like, keep coming, bro. Keep coming, bro. But yeah, guys. Last thing I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to kick off. I'm going to kick off because I don't think you guys will pick this person. Well, I hope you don't anyway. Who's been your form player in the Premier League in recent weeks, straight months that has caught your eye? # non-Arsenal, # non-Manchester United. I didn't want to go for an obvious one. I'm going to go for. He's currently playing in the side. I think they're unbeaten in 13. Best running over 10 years in the Premier League. And that's Ryan Fraser at Newcastle. when they got him, I actually thought it was a good signing for Newcastle. Now, I know when he left Bournemouth, there was a bit of a cloud and he didn't obviously want to sign a contract. And, you know, there was risk of injury because of COVID and he didn't want to play. So Eddie Howe left him out, I think, apparently. But I know John Sinclair will be the best person to speak because he sees Newcastle week in, week out.
He is the happiest man on the planet. Honestly, right? If anybody is having a bad day, and I tell this everyone, go and watch John Sinclair. Yeah. Oh my God, he's just
love John. John's knowledge is brilliant, particularly with Serie A football as well. Fantastic. But big up to Doug in the chat if you're still there, man. Much love to Doug as well, man. Liverpool fan, top guy as well. But Fraser, I thought was a good signing. I really did. I know the Newcastle fans when they first got him, they were not impressed with what they saw. But in the resurgence under Eddie Howe, and I thought Eddie Howe going, I thought, you know what? Get Callum Wilson playing, but obviously the injuries with him has just been awful in his career, to be fair. Get him in there. Big opportunity to manage Newcastle. He'll get Ryan Fraser playing. He will. And I think he's been exceptional for them. Probably would I think should have more goals for the position that he plays in, but I just think he's been instrumental. He's been fantastic for the games I've seen him that Newcastle have played. And I think he's obviously been a positive light in terms of them being in, like I said, their best run in the Premier League, I think, over 10, 11 years. Is it 13 games unbeaten now? Eddie Howe's doing wonders at the moment. If Chris Wood starts scoring, they'll go even further up the table. But for me, my choice, Ryan Fraser, I think he's been excellent. Even with Arsenal a few years ago, he was doing that well at Bournemouth. So fair play to him, man. But yeah, I'm gonna come to Dan. Dan? Who would be your player pick?
I'm really glad I couldn't choose United because I was going to choose Fred. I think he's been exceptional. No, I think a player that I've really enjoyed watching this season and I think has had a decent season. I really like Matty Cash at Villa. I really like him. I really like Matty Cash. And,
great shout.
He provides so much going forward, but he's also quite solid at the back. He's starting to bring assists and goals into his game a lot more now. And I just think it's going to be a big couple of seasons for him now because he obviously got the move to Villa. It's taken him a year or two to get him, but he just looks so good on the ball. And I mean, any right back looks decent when you've got Wan-Bissaka at the. But no, I really like Matty Cash. I think he's decent. I really like him.
It's a good shot. I think apparently he can play for. I think
Poland, mate. He's already mate. He's done. Yeah, he's Polish now.
Yeah,
done it.
No, Dan. That's a top shot. Matty Cash has been excellent for a couple of years at Villa. I think they got him for about. I asked Chris at the time, Villa fan. I think he said about 15 million, 16 million. I think it was. That's a bargain. Absolute bargain. He's been brilliant. Matty Cash, a great shout, Dan. I'm gonna come to Keith, mate. What players caught your eye, mate? Who's been doing the bits for you?
Right, I was going to mention Phil Foden after he smashed Wan-Bissaka yesterday and made him look an absolute. But then I thought, no, when I played.
Oh my God!
Sorry, Dan.
I just watched Foden just absolutely destroy him, and I was just like, "Get up, man! Get up!"
Foden was everywhere yesterday.
Yeah,
Foden's 2'5".
I know he was fighting like his mum after the Brooke Khan fight. But then.
This is Foden. This is Wan-Bissaka. Bang! Gone.
That was embarrassing. That was seriously embarrassing.
God.
But then, like when I used to play, I was primarily a right winger and occasionally a right fullback, and then the wing back thing came in. So I always look at wing backs, and I'm a huge Trent fan. And I was looking at he's just been amazing, especially after last season with the Euros and everything. But then it's not him. I've kind of gone for somebody a little bit underrated, somebody you wouldn't think of. Very, very similar to Ryan Fraser. Jared Bowen.
Good shout. Great shout.
Watching him play, he is so direct. And he's not a prolific goal scorer, but he's scored 8 and assisted 8 this season already.
Very
28
good.
games.
Very good.
And I'd never even heard of the guy until he scored in the 3-3 against us last season, when he just literally walked it in. I was like, who the hell is this bloke? And I've watched him a little bit this season, and I really, really like him. So he's the one for me, especially recently. And it looks like the injury he got against Liverpool is not that serious.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Keith, that's funny you mentioned Jared Bowen because he was, again, rumour, I would say probably, 2-3 years ago? And the Arsenal fans were in uproar. There was. Oh, why are we looking at players from Hull City?
Yeah, exactly.
And look, you
He's
take a
doing
chance.
all right.
There's some decent players in the championship. So Keith, big
Yeah.
shout, man, big shout. Good. Let me go to the chat quickly. Great shout again, Jacob Ramsey at Villa. Very, very promising. Let me come to Lottie Van Totti.
Oh, do you know what? I had to have a long think about this. I was going to go for someone like Cancelo because I absolutely adore Cancelo. I adore Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think they're brilliant. But I've gone for someone really different. In the last 8 games, he's scored 4, got an assist. I caught some of him in the Euros playing for Scotland, but I'm going for Che Adams.
Sure.
I think he's last few weeks he's had a brilliant few games. I know me and you, Albert, me and RJ, we've had conversations of getting him in an Arsenal shirt, and it's
the fan
playing
base,
second striker. He's a bit rough around the edges, but I think with some more time, he could be even better than he's doing now. To be fair,
no, I like the guy. I like the fact you guys, good shout, Lottie, that you've gone for not obvious ones, and it's great. Like Matty Cash, Ryan Fraser, you know what I mean, Che Adams. RJ, going to come to you. What about you, my friend?
Now, this was probably going to be too obvious. Same player. One player I've been so impressed with, and I really hope, and I'm not gonna lie, I would like to sign him, but I don't think his club will sell him to us. He plays alongside your friend Che Adams, Roja.
Yeah,
I think he's
I almost picked him as well.
He is too good. He is too good. The way
he's been mentioned in the chat as well a couple of times. Yeah.
I even see that. But shout out to whoever mentioned him. But listen, the other day, and I've seen so many goals from him this season. But the one for me in the FA Cup the other day,
West Ham, wicked goal.
I just said to myself, but we need to go and get this guy. This guy for me, I think he can do what we need. Personally, if Lacazette ain't trying to sign, get this guy. I don't care what Chelsea say, and I know we get peed off buying players from Chelsea. It's not the right one.
But this guy, it's different. It's different.
Exactly. He's the answer. He's young. He's energetic. He can hold the ball up. He's strong. He can do anything. To me, he just looks like the perfect replacement for Lacazette. But that's just my opinion.
No,
you can come at me if you don't agree. But yeah,
it's a great shout. And G, you're gonna close the show. Who's your player, mate?
You know what? Like, to be honest, all the ones that I would have picked have gone. But having said that, you know what? There's a couple of players that I think, for me, kind of deserve shout outs, and it will be a little bit controversial. But I think in recent weeks, first of all, I think Crystal Palace having a good season under Vieira. I think Wilfred Zaha in recent weeks has upped his game. And I've got a lot of respect for him because I know he gets his stick and he gets flack, but for a player of his ability, with the kind of contract that he signed and the noises of teams being interested in him, I think he's remained somewhat professional and put in performances with Palace. I think Coutinho has had an instant impact at Villa. He's come in. I think there were a lot of question marks about, can he still do it in the Prem? But he's chipped him in a couple of goals and assists. But yeah, in terms of one kind of like standout player, I think, I'm going to go back to what Dan said about players that win you trophies. You kind of need players that, give you 7 out of 10 each week in, week out. And there's always a player that I've always admired, and that's James Ward-Prowse from Southampton.
Yeah.
He's just a phenomenal professional. He just goes out week in, week out, does his job. He doesn't always get the headlines, but he gives you a 7 out of 10 week in, week out. And if there was a player, other than the ones that have been mentioned, that Arsenal could sign, it would definitely be him because, boy, he's got a wicked set piece on him as well.
I'll tell you what, I'll save you some money. I'll drive Fred up to, I'll drive him there, save you money. Don't worry about
it's
it.
All right, you can keep him.
You can keep him.
Apparently, he can play ball. He's good enough for United. He's good.
Fuel is going through the roof at the moment. I won't even charge you fuel, right? I'll put that in my pocket.
I'll save,
right?
save you petrol. Keep him.
You didn't show us on that bridge.
RJ, do you know if the warranty's run out yet?
Warranty's out in it. The warranty's gone in it.
Nope. Still, but
No, I think it's still got another 2.5 years on it. I think from what I'm learning.
You're funny. Now, guys, you know, people in the chat, thank you. People in the chat, thank you for your interaction. It's been fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. But people, if you don't know what to do by now, it's been a while, you should know what to do. And there you have it, people. Subscribe away and smash the like button and follow my esteemed guest on their Twitter handles on the screen. I'm going to shout one player, it's the obvious one, because they mentioned these stats yesterday. Riyad Mahrez has been phenomenal. 21 goals this season and 7 assists. He's got 6 in 7 in the Champions League.
He's got 21 goals this season.
Yeah, he's got 10. He's got double figures in the Premier League. He's got 21 goals this season in all comps. Yeah,
Didn't know
that's
that.
so high.
Which is superb.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. Yeah, fantastic. But people in the chat, again, thank you. Get your virtual waves in, because we are going to leave the Albert JTV practice and, you know, refurbish the red carpet for another show another time. But I want to thank my amazing panel for being fantastic human beings, firstly, and being incredible friends and family, as I like to call you guys. So, yeah, the last week, the grey hairs are coming through a bit more, but it's all good, man. Listen, I've had far more worse things in life happen, believe me, than my having a Twitter account. let's be honest about it. But no, guys, tell the people where they can find you, starting with my amazing Northwest bestie, Lottie. I'm going to do Lottie and G, because obviously you have to big up Cannon Chatter and the family, them. You know what I mean? Come on. So plug your channel, people. Go on. You start, Lottie.
I can come find me tomorrow night at 7:30 UK time. I am doing a review of the women's game, which we won 4-2, which was brilliant. And also you can follow me on my handle, which was on the screen, which is Lottie _B, 2 T's and 2 I's. And obviously come and find us on Cannon Chatter. Come check out our content.
Of course. People, don't even think about it. Like I say, go and do it. And
Definitely,
G Talk's
definitely.
my guy, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, no, thank you for having me on, man. Absolute pleasure to come on your channel as always. Yeah, follow me at G Talks Arsenal. I'm G and I talk Arsenal, so it's kind of, you know, does what it says on the tin. But yeah, tomorrow night, as like you said, we do have a 7:30 Arsenal ladies show. At 9 o'clock, we also have the review of the Watford game, and we might have some little news for you as well. So tune in to tomorrow night's show.
We will.
It's going to be really, really, really good news.
Good.
Can't wait to tell everybody.
Good. No, of course. Keith, my bro, I know that beautiful hotel. The Wi-Fi held up, man. You done well, man. I'm proud of you, Keith, man.
Do you know what? It wasn't even the Wi-Fi. I put my phone on and I'd switch the Wi-Fi off on my phone. I've got 5G and it's been absolutely crystal since then. So that's the way forward.
Nice.
Yes.
Albert, thank you so much for having me on, mate. Really appreciate it. And it's lovely to share the screen with all these wonderful, wonderful people. But if anyone wants to find me, you can find me on Twitter at the Mad Rambling one, or if you want to find me on YouTube, you can find me at Mostly Arsenal, where I sometimes talk about Arsenal and I sometimes talk about teenagers doing dumb shit. You know, classic I swear a lot though, so people.
That's all right.
But thank
Keith,
you,
Keith, let me big up Keith. Much love for that fantastic content about Ian Wright. For that, 100% for the older generation and the younger generation, absolutely pinpoint. So, Keith, much love to you, man, and fantastic content.
Cheers,
mate. My guy, man, the regular RJ, I have to apologize because I didn't put you in the title guide on the bottom of the screen, because you are a co-founder of Weekly Surgery. So I don't need to put you there, because we know that we can see your figure on the screen anyway. So RJ, my bro, listen, we've had many chats. You was one of the first people to call me when things were really going down. So I appreciate it, man. And yeah, tell the people where they can find you, man.
Listen, man, you're my brother, all family here. This is what we do. Support each other through tough times. And we always look out for each other. We're soldiers out here, you know? We're all big families.
100%.
Especially this Man United dude. 4-1. Anyway, listen. Guys, if you want to check me out, I'm over here in the surgery to Balfour and the boys. Shout out to everybody, of course. Sorry, Dad. And of course, check out my channel at Ryan Williams ASC. My Twitter is at RJ Wills. there we have it.
Yeah,
Ryan
much
couldn't
love.
help himself, could he?
Yeah.
I couldn't. It's taking so much grief from Man United fans to see. I can't, man.
Yeah.
Someone has to get. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry.
Dan, my bro. Once again, thank you, man. Like, listen, one person I have to thank actually. If he's probably in bed. I was not surprised. He's on every podcast on the bloody Arsenal. Dan Potts from Same Old Arsenal and Lee Judges TV. If Dan's given me the opportunity, definitely in regard to networking, 100%, because that's how I've met Dan and many other people. Chris, the Villa fan, Jude, Mick from the Liverpool fan, loads of people. And Dan, love you to pieces, man. Tell the people where they can find you and your amazing channel with the Grasshoppers thing and visiting grounds up and down the UK. And me and RJ are going to do the locals. We're going to do something. We're going to do flipping. Well, I may sound a bit far, but something we'll definitely do. And Dulwich Hamlet will do. Dulwich Hamlet will definitely do. But Dan, love you to bits, man. Where can people find you?
Well, they can find me at Curry's tomorrow trying to cash in the warranty for this bloody fridge that I can't seem to get rid of. So I should be there between 4ish and 5ish. I'm not sure what time they're open, so I've got work first. No, if you don't laugh at it, then what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
You can find me at Football Once, spreading the ground hopping word there. If you're going to be going out there and looking at some things that people wouldn't really be looking at normally, go and do it. And just remember, guys out there watching, without grassroots football, there is no football. So make sure you go there and support those local teams, and that money behind the bar with them goes a long, long way. And Glazers out. What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go.
Of course, celebrity. Of course, mate. Of course, my bro. But no, people, much love to you. People, go and follow my amazing football community on their channels and their Twitter handles. It's Albert JTV, your regular host. It's good to be back, even though I've not really been away that long, to be fair. And like I said, big up to Casey and Sophie from Hybrid Squad for an amazing live story, which I did last week. Wow. And thank you guys for the feedback. It was amazing. Kevin's brilliant and love Sophie to pieces. Big up to Amanda yesterday on Same Old Arsenal as well. Thank you for having me on for the post-match. Love you to pieces and thank you for having me on. And people, the surgery in Southeast London is closed for tonight. But people, much love. Like I said, smash the like button. That is Albert JTV over and out. #episode 7. Good night, people.